Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, Target Experience. I'm trying to see, uh, get some good light in here. But, yes, let's say get some good light in here. Your president apartment using their sirens. So, got in the house and I was so tired. I made tea and took about a couple sips and I fell asleep. And within an hour, I would say, the New York President Department started literally have me under remote control. Not only that, but accessing my uh, mind to engage in, I don't know, I think it was searching for something. Literally, that's what it felt like. Right? I could barely sleep. I'm tossing and turning. Uh, I'm listening to an audiobook. It's called, I think I shared it with you guys before. It's called MK Tech um, Invasion and Mind Control, Volume 2. Right, so I have Volume 1 and there's Volume 2. This person was also a targeted individual in Brazil and wrote a 2-volume book on his experience, the technology, and very, very detailed, very detailed. It's like kind of like Mark Rich's book, The Hidden Evil, how the elites conspire against the civilian population. That book is also very detailed in military jargon and so forth. All right, and I got to I got to really, really a shout out to these two brothers who are, you know, I mean, they're doing what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? But I have the how I expose what is being done is actually showing you guys, right? Not only the psychological operation and the cognitive warfare, but also the cursive threats and from the cursive programming and what they've done to me, right? The brainwashing and so forth, and the illegal microchipping. And so, like I said, from the time I went to bed, like around maybe minutes to 12, like I said, around an hour later, the New York Predators Department started using these sirens. Literally had me on remote monitoring. Could not sleep. Could not sleep. I woke up. I finally got up not too long ago. Okay, and I went into the bathroom to go brush my teeth. All right, again, have me on remote monitoring. The toothbrush. Put the toothpaste on my toothbrush. Started brushing my teeth, and I had to turn to the side because when I leaned over slightly, my back, almost gave out. And whenever, like I said, whenever time I yell out in pain or a moan, they'll use the sirens, right? As what that's supposed to stop the pain, or that's supposed to, what I'm saying? But it's the constant harassment that they do, right? And also, I was uploading videos. They upload my all of my videos uploaded except for one. The one that's titled "See the New York Predator Department officers triggered when I when I put up the black fist." Right, and you'll see in the video when I did that. That of course there was across the street, um, targeting, doing the hand signals and stuff like that, and then using children, teenagers. Okay, and in that video you had me say, this is why that obviously that they have access to so many of our children, and then it was my news feed popped up the foster care system, right, and all the abuse that takes place in the foster care system. Particularly when it comes to our children, black boys and girls. Um, this is serious. This is serious, and when I show you guys, not just even tell you guys, when I show you guys how police officers, right, are essaying hundreds of children, hundreds of our children, and they're sitting, a lot of them, thousands of them, where I get to retire and still have their pension, still get paid. No accountability, nothing. So the New York Predator Department, it is a rot that will never uh, become unrotten as long as you have leadership that is corrupt. As long as you have leadership that, when it comes to integrity, there is none. They have none. All right, and you know what they do to us TIs, in particular, like I said, their partnership with big corporations and big tech firms. That is why they're using military type technology to invade our privacy. And like I said, the Negropeans, the Dans, the dumbass Negropeans, they're just, you know, going along with it because they don't understand what conditioning really is, right? And how their mindset as believers, how it is easily to manipulate them in ways that, you know, they become, you know, they'll lose all morality, right? And in one of the videos that I put, if you look at the description, you know, I asked AI to give a breakdown of the Darren Brown show, particularly the episode called Game Show. Go read what it says. As a matter of fact, Google it yourself. You know, just say, Google, uh, can you break down the Darren Brown show called Game Show? Um, let me see if I can just to read it out here because it's really uh, it's really telling. You know, it's really something that you have to quite um, read for yourself. Okay. So I said the Darren Brown Game Show episode breakdown. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So well, let's see. Oh, all right. So in the game show, right, from the experiments, Darren Brown demonstrated mob mentality by having an anonymous masked studio audience vote on increasingly harsh 50-50 scenarios to ruin a subject's night. The experiment reveals that the individualization, the individualization leads individuals to make cruel decisions, proving how easily a crowd can be swayed towards vindictive behavior. Right, and this just gives you a this format that I'm recording on give me a more detail and a longer uh, breakdown of it, right? And let's see here. Okay, this one gives you a more thing on the hell. Let me see if I can get a more detail. Okay, here's a more. All right, so it also says that you know how the mob mentality by allowing the mass anonymous audience to make increasingly harmful stage decision affecting the subject's night out. The experiment by demonstrating how easily individuals, when anonymous, can act as a victim. Right. So here you have people who are targeting an individual, right? Doing things to make that individual have negative outcome instead of positive outcomes, right? And then acting as if they're the victims. Okay, so right, so it says here, when anonymous can act as vicious collective mob to turn, uh, in this case, fake game show into disastrous stage experiments, proving the danger of hidden identity within a group. So this is, see what he did is that he gave the um, the audience mask to put on, right? But in terms of we us as targeted individuals and how the public, how members of the public, or some members of the public, are engaged in this sort of behavior, because see, as long as they can make us believe that it's in our mind, that it's psychological, right? Then they feel that, they have that anonymity, right? That they feel um, anonymous, because they can always talk about, oh, you're crazy. This is what they do. But these are the crazy people. These are the insane people that's doing this. All right. Because again, and like there's the guy that came on the bus talking a whole bunch of shit. I already knew what it is. Like I said, they will send people and they will come and ask me for money. They will bypass everybody else, right? But they'll come directly to me. And why? Because when they attempt to manipulate me using silent sound, when they attempt to BCI me through brain computer interface, right? When they try to manipulate me, when they try to control my actions, uh, and I start to realize, and like I said, I can always tell when my consciousness is being hijacked. I've been a victim of this for over 2 decades now, right? So I've studied this, just like how this brother wrote these 2-volume books explaining what it is that was happening to him, right? So I always say that they need to understand how these technologies work within the society, particularly when they want to implement this going forward in the future of microchipping people. And these Sambos and Sambinos, these Dans, these dumbass nigga parents don't understand that a lot of them probably already microchipped, don't even know it. They don't even know it. I talk about the book by Dimsdale, Dark Psychology. Go and read that. Okay, it is one of the books that I've listened to, and also read part of it, because it's one of those books that literally tells you, how this government, past governments, engage in these sort of experiments. Okay, and anybody who found out the truth or tell the truth, they attack them in ways in which that leads to the death of hundreds of people, and then blaming uh, an individual for that death when it was our government, CIA, that was responsible, because this man found out the truth, and he said that the U.S. government was creating microchips to mind control black people, to control them, to control us. We tend to not want to listen to those of us who are sent to tell us the truth and not making our eyes. Like I said, as much as these Negro Koreans claim to believe in Jesus, they don't really believe in Jesus, because their action shows you the same thing, like in the Bible when the mob attacked Jesus for speaking the truth. All right, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.